Well, hey folks, this is John with Ozarks Backroads with you today. Winter is taking the day off. We got some spring going on here in the Ozarks, a beautiful spring day. It's still early. It's the last day of February. There's no leaves on the trees yet, but I had to get out of the world headquarters. I've been cooped up way too long. And we're going to go check out a spring, a big spring that makes up a creek today down in a gorge. So stick around, we'll go down and check out a really cool spring here in the Ozarks on the last day of February 2023. We're out on the Mighty Tiger today. This thing has had an extensive amount of maintenance done on it over the winter. Here comes the FedEx man. Somebody's getting motorcycle parts. I bet they're excited. So we pretty much went through this bike from one end to the other. It's got a lot of new parts on it. I had to change the brakes all the way around. They were getting worn. I wound up putting a new chain and sprockets on it. They were also getting worn. We overhauled the front forks on the Tiger and replaced the bushings and the seals in those. New fluid. Got those up in shape. What else have we done? We serviced the swing arm bearings and the steering head bearings. Checked all the wheel bearings. But the Tiger's raring to go. It's been cooped up in the garage since, I believe, since November. Last time we were out. The Mighty Red Sled, our 2019 V-Strom 650 XT, I wound up selling that thing over the winter. I've got another bike that I've got on order. I've got a deposit on another bike at a dealer down in Arkansas. So hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll show up in March, which is just, well, tomorrow is March 1st. So in the next 2 or 3 weeks or 4 weeks, I should have a new bike in the shed. So I had to let one of them go, and I didn't want to let either one of these bikes go, but I just couldn't part with the Tiger. The Tiger is just such a good bike. I really like the Tiger, and I like the V-Strom too, but I had to part with one of them. I don't have room for 3 bikes and be able to work on them in the world headquarters garage. It's just not enough room. So the Red Sled found a new home, and we're waiting on our next bike to show up at the dealer. So if everything goes to plan, we'll ride the new bike out to Arizona and Utah, Colorado, and do some camping. We'll load up our camping gear on that thing and head out. But we'll see what happens. I'm trying to set myself up not to be super disappointed if it doesn't show up, or if it's going to be a lot longer than what they're telling me. It's hard to get stuff these days. You just can't rely on any kind of a schedule when you're ordering, cars or motorcycles, anything like that. So we'll see what happens, but hopefully it will show up in March like I was told it would. Fingers crossed. But I'm going to wait to reveal what I've bought. I want to talk about it a little bit and talk about the reasons why I've bought what I've bought. So hopefully that's going to happen here before long, and we can get it all dressed out and ready for some really good adventure riding this season. So we're down in the government woods. We're just north of Alton, Missouri, A-L-T-O-N. If you want to look that up, I'll show you on the map. I believe we're going to cross the 11-Point River down here at the bottom of this hill. But it's good to be back out in the Ozarks. I just love this country. Every season it's all fresh, and I'm ready to explore it all again. So I've been doing this a long time, and I've not got tired of it yet, and I'm still finding places that I've never been, discovering things. Right there is the 11-Point River. I don't get killed on this bridge. Yeah, it's got some water in it. It's beautiful. Folks are fishing down here. That's pretty nice. There's an old mill that sits up right up here on the hill that used to be on down here on this creek, this spring creek that we're gonna see where the spring starts, the creek. This mill used to sit down on that creek, and they moved it up here on the hill and put overhead cables down to the creek, put a generator down there, and then they moved the mill up here on top of the hill by the road, where it was a lot easier to get trucks and stuff. This was all back in a long time ago when they moved it. The original mill was burnt during the Civil War. The South came in here and they would burn the mills and stuff so people couldn't process food or make the things they needed. And it was burnt down during the Civil War, and then they rebuilt it down there on the creek. They rebuilt it a time or two after the Civil War. And then finally, that was it right there. They moved it back up here on the hill. So it's been up on the hill, and the Park Service has taken it, and they've refurbished it and fixed it all up, and it looks really pretty. It looks like it's in pretty good shape now. It's got all new siding on it. Looks like it'll stand there for a few more years. So our trailhead, I believe this might be it. Yep. Here we are at the little the trailhead. They've got a bathroom here and some information there on the board. We're going to head out this way. We're going to leave the Mighty Tiger here. Hopefully nobody will mess with anything. I've got a lot of stuff on the bike, cameras and phones and you name it, but I can't carry it all down here where we're going, so we're just going to have to hope that it works out for the best. Looking pretty nice in here. Got some big old trees, some old growth timber in here. Pretty sweet. I'm trying to be quiet because I'm pretty sure there's a troll that lives under this bridge down here, and I do not want to wake him up. We're going to ease on by here real quiet like. Alright, well I think we're starting to get close. I'm hearing water in the distance down here. Well, I found the source of the noise. Looks like it's right down here. The creek running through a little bit of rapids. Now this entire stream right here is a spring. And we'll go up here where it comes out of the bluff up here. And then there's also some more springs downstream right in the middle of this river boiling up, and we'll go look at those real quick as well. Well, this is pretty neat. We're down in a pretty good gulch right here. Nice bluff over here. See a little bit of watercress growing here in the stream and down in the water. You know you're in a spring-fed body of water when you see all this watercress. In the spring, the creek continues on. See if we can find our way up here, climb over a few rocks, and we might be able to get up here. We can see where it comes out of the big hole in the bluff where this spring comes out. But you got to do a little rock climbing. You got to be part billy goat. This is as far as I can get today. We got a lot of water coming out, but you can see the hole in the bluff here, the bottom of the gorge. This is where the river runs out of this cave right here. And then another creek, or dry creek now, but little water in it up there it looks like. So that's pretty cool. This is the first big spring. There's another large spring downstream. We'll go look at it. We're downstream a little ways. Just a beautiful shot up the creek there. The sunlight's glistening off the water in a few spots. That's really pretty. But right down here, is the second spring. You can see the water boiling up right there. There's a spring in the bottom of the creek that's pushing up a lot of water. It's got the water humped up a foot or so above the level of the creek, looks like, maybe more than that. So there's another spring right here that adds to the flow. And the river's quite a bit bigger where the creek is. Below this point, it starts to get some size to it. So that's really pretty. And then this runs down to the 11-point river that we crossed on the bridge on the way in. Just a beautiful area, got some nice big bluffs in here. Pretty cool. Pretty cool area. Just off to the side of the river here, we've got a hole in the bluff. And it looks like there's a plaque there that says something about it. We'll have to go see what it says. Looks like a little memorial plaque for Samuel G. Beatty. I'm not sure who he was, I'll have to look it up, but they got a little plaque here for him. Looks like some folks are missing him. Right in the entrance to this little pocket, this little hole we were looking at. Goes back up in there just a little ways, looks like. Might be a woolly booger living back up in there, you never know. Yeah, I think we got a little window here. Well, that's pretty cool. Here's a nice little plaque on the trail that shows you how springs are born. If you didn't know, rocks have cracks in them and water flows downhill. So there you go. They burned off the parking area while I was down there. They came in and set all that on fire, burned all the leaves up. Got to smelling pretty smoky down there. Wondered what was going on. The sun's getting low in the horizon. I don't know what time it is, probably about 3:30. We got about an hour and a half back to the world headquarters. 4:30, 5 o'clock, it'll be getting duskish shortly thereafter. So we probably ought to get a move on. Howdy. Howdy. You didn't have to smoke me out. I'd have come out on my own. Right. Well, that usually works. Yeah. Get everybody out, close the gates. That's the easy way to do it. At least you had Well, I'm going to run. Right. I'm not getting any younger, so. See you guys. That was just a really nice day today. The weather is absolutely perfect. 70 degrees right now. You cannot beat that. Got daffodils coming up. That's a sure sign that spring is on the way. And there's the mill I was telling you that they moved off of the creek down there where we were at. They moved it up here on the road. They moved that up here so that it was easier to get to. So here is the 11-point river, and then that spring creek that we were on runs out into the river around the bend back there, probably a quarter mile around the bend. It runs into the 11-point river right there. There's an old place, got wooden shingles for siding like they used to do back in the day. Folks, I appreciate y'all hanging out with me, taking a ride here in the Ozarks on the last day of February. A beautiful day. We got to see a really cool spring. It's a pretty good hike in there to get out, especially. It's all uphill. It takes took me about 20 minutes to get down and maybe 25 or 30 to get back out, but it's a really beautiful spot. If you're along the Highway 19 corridor, around Eminence, Missouri, or Winona, why, you need to stop by and check it out. You're in it. Do you want one with you in it? No, I got plenty. Thanks. The UPS guy wanting to take my picture. Well, folks, I appreciate y'all hanging with me. I invite you to come back and see me. We'll reveal a new bike here, hopefully in the near future. And we're going to take a trip out to Arizona and Utah and Colorado, hopefully on our new bikes. So we'll see how that works out. Until I catch up with you again, y'all take care of yourselves. We'll catch you next time.